play with old Coach Cal.
Yes, and I'm talking about Rylan Griffin. That's ridiculous, disgusting. I know that. I guess that can lead us into basketball.
Yeah. Mark Pope.
Mark Pope is Kentucky's new head coach.
What do you think?
We've got a bunch of news. Rylan Griffin, Alabama shooting guard. After they go to the Final Four, he enters the transfer portal.
I think he's going out to Arkansas. He's going to bring a bunch of dudes in there.
Okay, this is why I don't like this guy. I wasn't upset with it because he won't do what they've asked him to do at Kentucky, which was not. Stop recruiting a bunch of freshmen. Mm-hmm. Go out here and get some transfer players, man. Please get somebody with the experience. He's not going to do it. He's a great coach.
But now that's what he's going to do at Arkansas.
That's what he's going to do at Arkansas. And somebody said the other day, anyway, you can watch him not winning at Arkansas too. But now he might watch him go to Arkansas and get a bunch of transfer players and win it.
He will. I don't know about winning it, but give him some time because he's won everywhere he's been.
Well, now I will say this: he didn't feel the love from the Kentucky fans. He has done a lot for Kentucky.
Yeah, a lot.
They've asked him to change some things. He's just not really willing to do it.
I don't know if it's him or the people that run it.
I don't.
From what I've read.
Yeah, it's kind of.
And what we see now,
they don't see eye to eye.
Well, what we see, and I'm not a Kentucky downer. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan, so I don't really have a dog in it in the hunt. But if he's going to another school and he's getting in transfers, then why didn't he just do it at Kentucky?
Why didn't he just do it at Kentucky?
They didn't want to do that.
Well, they say they did. They said he wouldn't do it. They're saying he wouldn't do it.
Well, that's of course, but now he is, so that don't make sense. Yeah. And they didn't fire him either. He left.
He was not fired. They decided to keep him. But he said he just didn't feel wanted there.
Well, the fans are unrealistic. They think you're supposed to win a national championship every year. They're like
it's a tough place.
They're like Alabama fans.
Yeah.
I mean, we're Alabama fans, but I'm not an unrealistic fan. I just told you if Bama wins 8, I'm okay. I'm not going to.
Well, and a lot of the
string him up, burn his house down. if Cal.
Well, the Kentucky fans don't like this hire. This guy's averaging 21 wins a year at BYU.
So that tells you, Kentucky fans, guys, please stop.
At BYU?
Stop being Alabama fans. It's just not.
You're not going to win
realistic.
Yeah.
That's the blue blood.
Well, I mean, it is. But.
You cannot just bring in freshmen and expect to win chips. It's not that way anymore. The game's changed. Kentucky admin, obviously it was you because your coach that left is now bringing in transfers. And he's fixing to have a bunch of good transfers. And actually, because of Walmart money and because of you had your owner of Texas, Jones, which is a part of Kentucky.
Right.
His money. Now it's reported yesterday that there's a pipeline open for the blue blood state of basketball. So now outside people want to spend money to help Kentucky get these transfer players. Well, why didn't you do it when he was there?
Yeah.
Now he leaves and now you want to do it. Mm-hmm. Something smells fishy.
It's weird.
Something smells weird.
It was a terrible marriage.
$33 million. He could have said, I ain't going nowhere. You're going to have to fire me.
Yeah.
If you want to keep me, then keep me. I want my $33 million check. If the crap I've put up with here and these fans screaming, ranting, raving every year, if I don't go to the Final Four, I should be packed full of straw and burnt out in the middle of town. These fans are unrealistic.
Well,
Bama fans are that way. Look what we went through last year right here on the show talking about. You remember the South Florida game? Remember the reaction after that? They was ready to run Saban off right then. Don't let him on the bus. It's time for a change. There was people ready to run Saban off.
Well, no,
for what he's done.
For what he's done, yeah. Now, I can see, no offense to John Calipari, I can see running Calipari off a long time before I can Saban. But I'll tell you who led the charge, and he's a good guy, and obviously he is by far the most important sports guy in the state of Kentucky. His name's Matt Jones. He led this charge. Yeah,
so
and he's gone.
Kentucky fans.
But now they got Mark Pope, who I think they need to give a chance. He played there. He won a national championship.
What do you think about on the other side of Cal? What was his record there and what he leaves behind?
Well, no, he had some great teams. He won 410 games there and lost 123.
Gone, fired, get out. How many first round picks?
Well,
35.
35. Well, see, that's what
35.
Matt Jones, Stephen A. Smith, Seth Greenberg, they all say, yeah, that's great, Cal. He's getting more enjoyment out of that than he is winning.
35 first-round picks.
That's what they were saying.
400-something wins and 100 losses.
35 first-round picks.
Got to go. Not good enough. We want a chip. Well, spend some money, Kentucky. Yeah. Now I think they realize, because I don't know if this is what happened or not, but I'm a pretty good reader of conversation. It feels like they ran it on him for not winning it. And he went up in the office and said, look, I've had guys coming in and going out. Mm-hmm. I can't stop these kids from leaving.
He cannot.
They come in and they know they can do it here, because why can they do it? Why do they do it at Kentucky nowhere else? Because this is where you're noticed. You come in Kentucky because of 35 picks, you're seen, you play a year and you leave and you go get money. Well, so if we want to win and play in today's market, AD of Kentucky University of Kentucky.
Mitch Barnhart.
Mr. Barnhart, we need to open this portal money up and have a fund like other schools do. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how we could just do it. Well, then we can't compete. He said, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to leave because I love this school so much. I'm going to let you keep your $33 million and use it to get you a coach. And a matter of fact, before I leave, I think Mark Pope would be a great hire here. So I'm just going to drop his name as I get my bags and head out the door. And God bless Mark for wanting to do this job. He's an alum and he's going to come do it. But y'all are insane. Y'all got to calm down. You're not going to win it every year.
So there's one.
The game's changed.
There's one group saying that, and there's the other group saying he didn't want it. Which one do you believe? Do you believe it was the school, or do you believe it was the Cal? They said Cal wasn't big on the transfer. There's two different camps saying two different things.
All we can go by is what we see. And in Arkansas, he's doing it.
If he's doing it in Arkansas, that don't make a lot of sense.
Then
yeah,
that's pretty cut and dry. Coach K. When he was at Duke, he knew that too. Kids were coming there and playing a year and trying to jump.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Okay, so it's not just him. It's those prominent programs, Carolina, Kentucky, Duke. UConn now. But you see what happened this year with UConn. The guys stayed.
Oh, they're all staying again.
And they're going to win.
And congrats to them. Tristan Newton, most valuable player. They were dominant against Purdue.
Yeah.
Alabama was probably the second best team in the tournament this year. I'm not saying they're second best team in the country, but as far as the NCAA tournament went, they were the second best team.
Alabama played UConn as well as anybody.
UConn was awesome again.
Yeah. Well, they stay. So Coach Cal, with his record and what he did there, he's this is what they wanted.
I don't think you can hate him. How can you hate him?
Please trust me. There's plenty of people in Kentucky that hate him.
Do you think, I'm asking your opinion, do you think he's more excited about players going pro or winning championships?
Well, you want to win. He's a winner.
Well, they say he's not. Stephen A. Smith even said it. Stephen A. even said, this guy, I'd rather see a guy go pro than win a championship.
So I just don't hear that.
I'm just telling you what critics say.
Yeah, and see, I had never heard them say that. I don't watch it as much. Probably, I don't hear enough of it.
It's been speculated.
I don't have enough to.
That his drug of choice is to see a player get drafted.
I think that's some fantasy that the fans cook up in
just
Kentucky.
To blame him.
Yes, because it gives you an scapegoat and makes them feel good, like they know what they're talking about. It gives you something to say.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
That's a good point. It's awful odd.
I don't know, and that's why I don't say a lot about it, because I don't. I mean, I watch it. You watch it more than I do. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in the bracket, but before that, I mean.
But it's almost like you're John Calipari. God's before me. Says, John, you want a Final Four or 4 players draft? And John goes, give me them 4 players draft.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
That's just
logically that don't make any sense.
I mean, but that's how certain people are saying that's how this guy is.
But that. Number one, it don't make sense.
It does not make sense.
And again, I hadn't heard anybody say that, but Kentucky fans.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because fans are Kentucky fans.
Theory makes sense,
but I'm not a Kentucky fan.
It's a scapegoat thing.
I'm not and I can see it on this side of it because I'm not a fan.
Now,
not that I dislike Kentucky. I cheer for them every time they play, but I'm not like your family. Y'all grew up. I mean, you're.
Oh, no. Some of them aren't happy about it. Some are.
And you got some relatives that's passed on that would be leading the picket line.
They wanted Pearl. Some of them wanted Pearl.
And I think my perspective is just different because I'm not a fan.
Now, do you buy this theory? Now, I kind of bought this one. that Calipari wanted to be the first coach to win it with a bunch of freshmen, kind of like the Fab Five nearly did. Does that make sense? That makes more sense than I'd rather have players drafted than win.
You just can't play that the way no more.
Yeah.
The game's changing. And he's realized that, and the college university has realized it.
Is Griffin going to Arkansas?
I've heard that.
Jesus.
And Pope, you mentioned earlier, he is a Kentucky alumni.
He is.
Dude, he went to Columbia Medical School.
Right. Very smart.
23 wins at BYU. Super smart guy. He likes smart players, he said. He said he likes shooters. The fans hurt the culture at Kentucky. They're being unrealistic. I mentioned that. Reggie and Ray and all played for Larry Bird.
Right.
All played. So these are some players that he played with. Just some background on him for people that don't know who Mark Pope is. The Jackson Robinson kid, 6'7", top scorer in the Big 12. He's coming to Kentucky.
Well, that's good.
He wants to come play for Coach
That's very
Pope.
good. And I think that the Reed Shepherd's staying.
Yes, last I heard he was.
Okay, so that's good.
BYU averaged 82 points a game last year.
It was one of the – I'm going to go out on a
Best
limb here and say
scoring team.
this is the best team BYU's had in a while. I just don't think it's a bad hire. Somebody's got to come from somewhere. Guys, Bruce Pearl came from Milwaukee, Wisconsin University. Not Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin University.
35% three-point shooters. Well, this kid shoots 90% free throws. This Robinson kid.
95.
90%, yeah, on free throws, and he's a 35% three shooter.
That's good. Very good.
He was at A&M, and he went to Arkansas, and he's at BYU, so he's been in the SEC. It's not going to be nothing weird for him. So, Coach Pope.
I think they'll be fine.
Dude is smart. He won it with Pitino in that group.
And I think Arkansas will be fine.
Now, that's the other side of the pill. You can give me more on how's Cal going to –
I think he's got a lot less pressure now. It might have been a good move for him. They're not going to get on him at Arkansas.
No.
You go 27-8 and go to the Sweet 16.
Win.
Good job.
Because they're being realistic.
Yeah.
Once Kentucky tasted to win it, and we're talking about when Pope played.
Yes, when they won it with Pitino.
When your family was – oh, God, that's been 30 years ago.
That's been 28 years, yeah.
Yeah, 30 years ago. So, I was – well,
you were a senior.
I remember him watching it. Yeah, I was a junior that year going in. And
Junior.
Everybody knows who Kentucky is, but Carolina and Duke just run that.
Yeah.
Kentucky dropped in there and won one, kind of like Michigan just kind of had a placement year.
Football, yeah.
Dropped in and won one. Michigan, the Fab Five wins one. It's not like, to me, and I'm not a fan, I can see this differently than a fan for Kentucky or Michigan. They don't just go on these absolute crazy runs for years where they're just getting beat in the championship game every year.
Right.
But they're not a bad basketball school.
No.
I think that once they won it, the vision, the eyes got big. You ever hear somebody say your eyes are bigger than your stomach?
Like that happens.
You think you want all that cake, and so
look at that big 32-ounce steak.
And then you eat the half, and you're like, my eyes were bigger than my stomach. I think that's what's happened at Kentucky. I think this is a great move for Kentucky. I think that it's going to open some eyes. I think it brings in a different generation of players. I think it is going to bring back some players because of him. I think there's going to be a support system that's going to be there because of his class. All that class that he played with.
Oh my, 7 of them played pro.
That's what I'm saying. So those guys are all his age. They're either retired or they're helping coach somewhere.
Yeah.
So I look forward to this move by Kentucky. I think it's a fantastic hire.
I don't think it's a bad hire at all.
I think it's the best hire they could have made.
And I love my cousin to death, but she put on Facebook the other day, we're ruined.
No, absolutely not. See, but she's been a fan.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, she was upset that Cal left.
Well, you should be. They run him off. He won 400-something games. You run him off?
He averaged 27 a year. What got Cal was the early exits in the last 2 years.
So did Coach K. That happened to all those guys.
Yes, it did. Coach K did have early exits, first round, more than once.
It's just part of the way the kids are now. They want to get paid. Alabama had a kid come in, played a year, played in a semifinal game, and he leaves and goes to a team that didn't even make the playoffs, Caleb Downs.
I know. And then they got a semifinal team shooting guard starting. One of the reasons they got there that's leaving. Now, I'm sorry. That bothers me.
Saab started on a national championship team, played on this, and he's at Bama. What?
Did he start for them?
He played, yeah. He
got
played
to
in
play
nickel
a lot.
package.
Nickel package. Wow, I did not know
He
that.
left. He was a 4-star out of high school. Some people had him as a 5. He leaves Michigan to come. Wow, what? So Cal leaving, it's just different. We're not living in 1994.
It was odd. It was very odd.
This is not 94. This is not how things used to be or how things are anymore. Kentucky fans, listen up right here. I know we got some watching because I talked to some on the page some. And all his family, they all live up there. What's up, Clint? This is a great hire for the reasons I just said. His background is great. He's one of you. He was at BYU coaching, Dean. He comes on a podcast and he says, my blood is blue. Yeah. I love it here. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I want a championship here. And now he's going to coach there. The culture I told you about, the players he played with, he's going to bring some of that back.
Fantastic players.
Okay. Some of that aura will be back around. Sometimes it's just good to cut. I don't like the fire. I think it's silly. I think fans are being absolutely silly. Uh-huh. But sometimes you just need to, hey, you know what? DeBoer's a good hire. I ain't saying Saban should go, but Dean, he wants 72. Can he go retire and just eat Halloween candy and sit on his front porch and not have to worry about recruiting or portals or money? Or can he not just be Nicholas Saban and not be Coach Saban?
Well, and I will say this about Kentucky. I don't think Pope's a bad hire at all. I mean, they tried to get better, but they turned them down. So
yes, but
eventually you got to.
Why? I'm going to tell you why.
All the pressure. Well, Dan Hurley just said no.
Well, what is the pressure from?
The fans.
Yes, thank you. They're unrealistic. It's insane. Why do you think Dan Lanning at Oregon turned down the Bama job? Are you kidding me?
I'm not going to Alabama and Georgia.
What? I worked there as a GA assistant. He worked under Kirby. Dan did. Uh-huh. I've been on that sideline. I know what they're going to expect. If we don't win 10 football games, they're going to want me gone. And guess what? I'm going to get here at Oregon. You win 9 every year, get to the playoffs, you're fine.
Nobody in Salem or where they at Eugene is mad at Dan Lanning.
No.
Now. Nobody's going to go, hey, what do you think about Coach Lanning? He blew that game.
What an idiot.
Then when Georgia beat him 49-3, no, they're like, oh, no, he's great.
No, he's a good coach. Now, they lost to Washington twice. That stung.
He might have took a little heat from it, but not extreme.
Not as bad as Coach Cal got at Kentucky for going out round 1.
No, God, no. And, I watched that game, and I got to take up for Cal, which Matt knows I'm not a huge Cal fan because I got tired of the freshmen.
He hates the –
And, but what could he have done? They shot bad. They just couldn't make – I mean, it just didn't go in the hole.
Where's the outpouring for Pearl to be gone? They got beat by Yale.
They love Pearl. Pearl's as safe in his job as Nick Saban was.
You lose to Yale. Y'all ready to fire Pearl? I talked to some guys on Twitter. Nah, we just had a bad game. We're going to get relocked in, though.
Now, the Kentucky never did that with Cal.
Kentucky loses. Dude, Twitter is on burn down mode. I swear they were pitchfork emojis. I promise.
And they never did it with Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski went out in the first round, I know of, twice. First round.
Twice.
Number 3 seed. Boom, gone.
We'll come back next year and get them. Kentucky. What is wrong with them fans?
Rick Barnes has had some tough ship outs.
Is it the meth loaded up in the counties up there?
I don't know.
Is that what it is?
They're just used to winning one every 15 years.
That sounds normal to me, to win one every 15. They act like you got to win it every year.
Well,
you better go to the Final Four every year.
What's happened with Cal is, and what the fans, and I'll include myself in it, there's not understanding.
I'm sure your mom was not happy after that game.
Yeah, but she loves him.
Oh, does she? She's
yes.
not okay.
Well, see, that's one thing. And you're like,
'Cause your
what
Uncle
do
Man
you
did
and your
not
mama
like
argue about that? That's one of the things we've never saw eye to eye
He's
on.
an idiot.
And
Todd Shush. He's doing the best he can.
if you don't like him, you just quit talking.
You don't talk to me anymore. Get out.
I don't want to hear it. But that she likes him, but I think a lot of people's been like, well, he's getting all these recruits. He got 18 5-stars in the last 3 years, ain't won one. Yeah, none of them staying. Now, there was also a word that he made no attempt, which we'll never know the truth on that. No attempt whatsoever.
That's more that fan talk.
To persuade them to stay.
I just don't. We don't. There's no way to prove that.
We don't know. No,
and that don't make sense. Like, I want to win. No, I don't want to win. I just want to have 35 first round draft picks.
Yeah. Who were going pro anyway. It'd be like coming in my office, like pretend you're a kid and say, should I go pro, coach?
Anthony Davis.
Should I go pro,
Have
coach?
you seen me play this year? I'm Anthony Davis. You think I should go pro?
And well, they just said anybody come in. Yeah, go ahead.
And there's no proof of that.
I trust you.
That's just Todd's thinking because he didn't like him.
Well, no, I've heard that. I heard that he pat him on the back and wish him good luck.
That's a fan. That sounds like some Nick Saban hate talk.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they about blew that game in South Florida. Saban, they wouldn't even let him call the plays down there. Did you see him? He looked like he was just a drowned rat down there. We need to put him on a bus, let somebody else call the plays.
Yeah, and end up being the most improved team in the country, wasn't it? I know Milroe's the most improved player in the country.
So Kentucky, Mark Pope, and I'm not I give a different perspective than this side of the table. This side of the table is straight bluegrass.
Yeah.
His whole family grew up hearing it his whole life, knows everything about Kentucky. Yeah. He knows the games. His uncles, his mama knows when they won, where they won.
I know. I like Pope.
I'm just an outsider saying from what I see on resume and what I've seen him play like 1 or 2 games, it seems like I'm an outsider. His whole idea of what he says he wants to do there and having that old nostalgia back. And he played for, to me, one of the best college coaches ever. To me.
Oh, gosh. Pitino's fantastic.
To me, I think Pitino's him and owner of the Heat.
Oh, Pat Riley.
Well, goats.
Yeah,
goats.
Definitely.
Those two are my favorite.
I think Pitino.
Coach K is too. He's great.
He's great.
But Pitino, fired up. They're winning by 20. He's just throwing papers all over the place. You'll get it tomorrow at practice. You wait till we hit the gym. Pope said he was cussing a storm.
Oh, yeah. You see
we went up 20 on some team. He goes nuts. Took the clipboard and broke it.
Well, they got come back on with a 20-point lead this year. And they said he had to apologize for it, but in the press conference, he 110% completely threw his team under the bus. He's like, nah, I ain't do nothing. Thought they had it. I'm not taking no blame for it.
Good hire, Kentucky. Fans, hold on. Obviously, the administration has some problems with Cal, and there's some stuff probably going on that we won't ever know about.
Well, I heard they didn't talk anyway.
We don't, and they're trying to be a little bit of a football school, and Cal would throw that stuff out there and put the football team under the bus.
Yeah.
Unneeded. Don't do Stoops that way. If they win 8 or 9 games, that's a great football year. But you don't hear it if the football team don't make the playoffs.
They're not mad at Stoops.
No. He wins 8 games. He's pretty good year. Yeah. He's okay. We like him. Nice guy.
Well, it's just a standard set at Kentucky. They've won.
But you won 1. It's not like you're winning it like Bama.
7. They've won 7. Kentucky's won 7.
Rupp
won 4. Pitino won 1. Tubby Smith won 1. Calipari's won 1.
Here's the thing.
They've won
6.
8.
We'll help me out with this, and we'll move on from it.
Yeah, we're about done anyway, ain't we?
Yeah. Help me out here. Now, I'm seeing this. I've said this 30 times, and I'm sorry I keep saying this. I'm very neutral. I'm Switzerland on this Kentucky thing.
Yeah.
Cheer for them, but just not a insider. Go blue,
Right.
If I'm pulling for basketball, I'll pull for them.
Yeah, they're usually very good.
Why is it so haphazardly, like dangerous to your life?
Yeah,
for him to even be outside because he didn't win one, and they're not a team like Alabama is in football that's used to winning championships every other year. Like Saban's drought, this is he'd never been like 3 years.
Nah, nobody does that much in basketball.
3 years without. Now you got guys like winning back to back at UConn.
Yeah, which is rare.
Yeah. So,
I mean, UNLV was as great as they were, didn't even win it twice.
What's the God? You're supposed to win it again. Like if you only win. What I'm saying is the odds are mathematically, if they only win one every 15 years, that's 2 in 30. So that's 4 championships in 60. That's 6 championships in 100 years if we're doing average. So why are Kentucky fans, why are they PO'd that he don't win?
They've won 4 in my lifetime. I'm 51.
So
that's one every 13
so I
years.
said 6 in 100. So that's about right. That's about average.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't see why they PO'd so bad if he don't win it. Because he's not trying to, because he's running off the freshman. Is that why?
That's the narrative.
That's the fan.
That's the narrative.
That's the fans saying.
Well, he's encouraging them to go on.
Supposedly.
Yeah. And not even, But the truth is, a lot of those guys are going pro no matter who their coach is or what you say.
No, I think
that's NBA's fault.
Yes, you're right. That's what it is, one. And two, that's just a springboard. Here's what fans got to realize at Kentucky. When you are Kentucky or when you are Alabama football, coaches come in and go one and done. Why? Why do players come in Kentucky and go one and done? It's a springboard school.
It is.
Because you can go. They're not going to go to UNLV and springboard to the pros. I'm like, well, UNLV, what players have they turned out in the last 20 years?
Right. Since Johnson and Ogman.
Yeah, since J.R. Ryder played.
J.R. Ryder, he was the one after. Yes, there was. I knew there was 3. That was. He didn't play with them though, did he?
Yeah,
he was after them.
Yeah, he was a little younger. So
yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like that's why it's not him saying, "Go ahead, buddy, it's okay." It's just like they're going to come here and they tell him up front, "We're going to come in, we're going to play a year."
That's probably how he's getting them.
If we win a chip, okay. If we don't, I'm still going. I'm going to bounce because kids. Let me tell you why. This is because that patting on the back and saying it's okay, buddy, leave. That's not what's happening. Kids are chasing the bag.
Right. There's no way. You're saying there's no way you can talk them out of it.
They're going to get 200. You know how the highest paid sports athletes was baseball, but right there behind, right behind, it's basketball. $200 million. You know what Zion Williams made? He made like a $50 million up front.
Oh, I know.
Front.
Yeah.
You think he's going to stay?
Why would he stay?
Why would AD want to stay at Kentucky playing there? He got like $50 million up front, another 150 guaranteed.
Yeah.
He ain't coming back to college.
No,
We're talking about generational wealth. He just by dribbling a ball and his athletic ability. And I think AD's a big CC now. He gets hurt way too much.
He does stay hurt. He did not at Kentucky.
I know.
Which he only played there a year, but he was dominant.
Yes, big time. That one thing has changed his whole family.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, he's got cousins and stuff that are set up.
Cal don't have to say, yeah, buddy, go ahead and go. I'm for that. They're saying, I don't care if you're for me or not, coach.
Yeah.
Thanks for the ride for the year. Let me spring out of Kentucky to the NBA.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. They go to, hey, if 4 of us go to Kentucky, we make them win one this year.
We might can win one, and if we don't, who cares?
Well, see, the deal is they probably don't, and I don't mean they don't care, but they don't. They don't. Not extremely.
Nope.
Not as much as Cal probably does.
No, they want to win. They want a bag.
Look, 10 years from now, Cal will be brought back and honored.
Yes.
Do you know that?
400-something wins. Get him out of here. Put him on a rail.
27-8. 27-8.
And then you wonder why you can't get a coach. Well, you know what? I mean, what do you think? Lanning turned it down to Alabama.
I hope Pope does good. I do.
I think he's
but only one. Everybody I know this coach there's done pretty good, except for one guy, and that poor guy. He ended up becoming an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Now he might have been one before, but he became a full-fledged one.
Yeah, I don't. So the whole demanding to win a title, you've only won one.
Well, I heard something on that. That's no, we'll be fine if he just goes to the Final Four. Now, if he can go to the Final Four, we'll be all right. He hadn't been to the Final Four in 9 years.
Right, and that don't look real good.
No, but I mean, it ain't easy to go to the Final Four. Guys, Alabama was not a great team during the year. They were the second best team in the tournament.
Yeah.
Nobody could play with them. They nearly beat UConn. That
Played
score
with them.
was not a 14-point
No,
game.
if you watch the game, it's not.
No.
It's not. I want to see what Clint had to say here. Clint Decker, I believe Cal has grown comfortable. He has lost his hunger to win and grind. He's more about living it up and living on what he did years ago, just how I see it. Very good point. Yeah, and you do. You do lose. You lose that shine. Saban told Kirby at the SEC game, says, "I'm too old for this."
Mm-hmm.
Joking, like, you ain't neither, coach. Come on, man. You got a few more years left. He looked at Kirby and said, "No, I'm too old for this for real. This is a grind."
Well,
I'm 72.
Yeah.
So I look for Cal to he'll go in there and get him 5-6 more.
He'll do
years.
fine. I don't want it. I now for or against him, I don't agree with a guy winning 800-900 games and going out bad. I don't want him to go out bad.
Last several years has been the same team, 3 and 4 year players.
Who's that?
Last year's it is hard to win with one and dones. It
Yes.
is. All right, see you, Jeffro.
It is very hard. But I don't want him. I want him to have a good end to his career. Because that affects people. Hey, you win 400 games in a championship,
He
go to
did.
5 Final Fours,
I believe it's
and you're hated. I mean, that's probably hard.
Came out of here.
He probably feels bad right now.
Yes, fool. 400. Who cares? We want a chip, but the kids don't. Fans.
They don't care.
I'm talking all sports fans. Kids want the bag.
Yeah.
Those last days of wanting the ring and Blake Sims pointing at his finger, and they think they're going to go win that year, and Ohio State beat Bama that year. You remember?
Oh yeah. Then they won it.
It's just, guys, sports is different.
It's tough.
And wait till NIL comes official in Alabama high school football.
That'll be
Sports.
fun.